Hi everyone, my name is Parul. Welcome to my channel Parul English Lab. This video is going to be really fascinating because today I will tell you all the contractions and their pronunciation. Contractions are extremely imperative because they not only help you to be fluent but also help you to understand English language. So please watch this video till the end and let's begin our today's session. What is a contraction? A contraction is a shortened word that is made by dropping one or two letters. For example, here it is I am. These are two words, I am, and the contraction of I am is I am. I am. So I am is a contraction. This is a shortened word that is made by dropping some letter. So here we have dropped the letter A. Okay, so that's a contraction. Now here you have to remember one thing, that apostrophe plays a very important role in all the contractions. You cannot make any contraction without an apostrophe. Now what is an apostrophe? This is an apostrophe. Okay, so an apostrophe marks a spot where we drop the letter. So here I apostrophe M. So this is the spot where we have dropped a letter. Okay, so which is the letter? Letter A. So I apostrophe M. So this is the spot where we have dropped the letter A. Okay, that's why apostrophe is really important. Now let's start with the contractions. First, personal pronoun plus auxiliary verbs. I have made a video on types of pronouns, so I hope you all know what are personal pronouns. If you have not watched that video, then I will mention the link in description box. You can watch it. And about auxiliary verbs also, there is a video. I will mention that link as well. So personal pronouns are pronouns that talk about person, first person, second person, third person, like I, you, we, he, she, it, they. Okay, so this is what we are going to do right now. So these are personal pronouns with auxiliary verbs. Let's go through these contractions one by one and their pronunciation. So first one is I am. I am becomes I am. I apostrophe M. I am. I am. I am good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Next is we are. We are becomes we apostrophe R-E. Okay, so the pronunciation is wear. 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 We wear clothes. Same pronunciation. Wear. We are good. What about you? We are good. What about you? We are good. We are. Next is you are, then you apostrophe R-E. This becomes your. Your. You are really nice. You're nice. You're nice. Your. Your. So that's the pronunciation. Next is they are. They apostrophe R-E. So they are becomes their. Their. Here. There. Here. There. Same pronunciation. There. They are nice. They are nice. They are going to do it. They are going to do it. They are going to do it. Next is he is. Now he is becomes he's. He apostrophe S. She is becomes she's. She apostrophe S. And it is becomes it's. It apostrophe S. So he's. He's. He is going to do that. He's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. She's gonna do that. It's nice. It is nice. It's nice. It's. Now next is I have. I have becomes I apostrophe V-E. I apostrophe V-E. I've. 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 I have done that. I've done that. I've done that. I've done that. Next is you have. You have becomes you've. You apostrophe V-E. Okay, so you have to drop two letters here, H-A. H-A. Everywhere you have to drop H-A. Okay, with have. Alright, so you have is you've. You've. We have is we've. We've. We have done that. We've done that. We've done that. And they have is they've. They've. They have written the letter. They've written the letter. they've written the letter, they've. Now next is he has, she has, it has. So here the contraction of he has, she has, it has, they are like he's, she's, it's. These are same like he is, she is, it is. Same contractions. Okay, so now the question is that how are you going to differentiate between he is and he has? Okay, so that all depends on the verb that you use after this. Okay, so that's why it's really important for you to brush up your tenses, your modal verbs, your conditional sentences before getting into the contractions. Okay, so if you say he's swimming, he is swimming, so it has to be is, not has, because with has you can't use first form of the verb plus ing as per the rule, because we use has, have, had in perfect tenses, perfect or perfect continuous. So you can't use it in present continuous. Okay, so they can't be used with first form of the verb plus ing. That's incorrect. So here it has to be he is. Now if you say he's done that, he's done that, so you're using done, third form of the verb, so it has to be has, because with has we use V3, third form of the verb. It can't be is, am, are. Okay, so he's done that. So that's how you are going to differentiate between he is and he has. Okay, so once you have good understanding of all these concepts, then it becomes really easy to differentiate between the contractions. You will not get confused. Okay, now next is I will, we will. So with I will it becomes I apostrophe L, double L, so it becomes I'll, I will, I will do it, don't worry, I'll do it, I'll. Next is we will, so we will becomes will, we'll do that, we'll do that, will. Okay, so here what is happening? After I apostrophe and then double L, so we are dropping two letters here, W-I. It's very easy to remember, to memorize, because once you start using these contractions, you will get used to it. Okay, so next is you will becomes you will. It's your work and you will do it, you will do it, you will do it. Next is they will becomes they'll, they apostrophe double L, they will meet you, they'll meet you, they will meet you, they'll meet you. Next is he will becomes he'll get it tomorrow, he will get it tomorrow, he'll get it tomorrow. She'll get it tomorrow, she'll get it tomorrow. It will becomes it apostrophe double L, and the pronunciation is it'll be done tomorrow, it'll. Next is I had, you had with had. Okay, so I had becomes I'd, I apostrophe D. Again we are dropping two letters, H-A. In all these words we are dropping two letters that are H and A. Okay, so I apostrophe D, you apostrophe D, we apostrophe D, they apostrophe D. So this way we are going to make the contractions. So I had becomes I'd done that, I'd done that. You had you'd watch the movie, We had becomes we'd. They had becomes they'd written the letter, they'd prepared the presentation. He had becomes he'd done that, She had becomes she'd. It had becomes it'd. Here T is not silent. It'd. Okay, it had been done, it'd been done. Okay, now here I would, you would, they also have the same contractions like I had. Okay, again I'd, you'd, we'd, they would becomes they'd, he would becomes he'd, she would she'd, it would it'd. Same pronunciation, same contractions. Okay, so how are you going to differentiate between these two? Again, depending upon the verb that comes after this. Okay, so if it is the first form of the verb, so we know that it has to be would, because we always use first form of the verb, that is V1 with would. Okay, not second or third form. So if it is I do that, I'd watch a movie, so I'd watch a movie, so watch first form of the verb, so it has to be I would, it can't be I had, because had, has, have, again we use them in perfect or perfect continuous forms. Okay, so here if we are using third form of the verb, like I'd watched the movie, then watched, it is the third form of the verb, so it has to be I had, and if it is the first form of the verb, then it has to be I would. So that's the difference. Okay, that's why conditional sentences, how to use the word would, I have made a video on that as well. I will mention the link in description box. Okay, so these are the contractions of personal pronoun plus auxiliary verbs. Now let's go through some negative contractions. First is am not. So am not has two contractions. One is aren't, another one is ain't. So this is AREN apostrophe T. So the pronunciation is not aren't. I have heard people saying aren't. It is not aren't, it's aunt. Uncle, aunt, aunt, same pronunciation. Okay, and second is ain't, AIN apostrophe T, ain't. But I would say don't use ain't at all, because it is not considered to be good English. So if you use ain't, so it might sound that you are not very good at it, or you don't have command on this language. So ain't can be used as am not, are not, is not, has not, have not, but don't use it. Why I'm telling you? Because if someone else uses it, so you should know what the other person is trying to say, but don't use it. If you want to use a contraction for am not, then use aren't, aren't. Okay, next is are not. Are not has the same contraction, aren't, aren't. Okay, so these two are aren't. Next is not, is isn't, ISN apostrophe T, isn't. She is not dancing, she isn't dancing, isn't, isn't. Next is was not, so it becomes wasn't, WAS was, N apostrophe T, so here we are dropping O. Everywhere we are dropping O. Yes, so we are dropping O. Okay, so it becomes wasn't, wasn't. She was not dancing, she wasn't dancing. She wasn't there, wasn't, wasn't. So next is were not, it's weren't, WEREN apostrophe T, it's weren't, weren't. So in British English it is weren't, in American English it is weren't. So the difference is, I already have said it many times in my pronunciation videos, that the difference between British English and American English is the R. So generally in American accent they roll their R, okay, like daughter or weren't. So if it is in American accent, then you will say weren't. But in British, generally R is silent, like daughter, daughter, no R. So same way, it's not weren't, it's weren't, weren't, weren't. Okay, so that's the difference. So this is weren't. Now do not becomes don't, DON apostrophe T. Do not do that, don't do that. I don't know her, I do not know her. So don't. Does not becomes doesn't, DOESN apostrophe T, doesn't. He doesn't know that, he doesn't do that, doesn't. Did not becomes didn't, DIDN apostrophe T, didn't. I didn't do that, she didn't do that. Next is has not. Has not becomes hasn't. Again we are omitting or dropping one letter, that is O. Okay, so this is hasn't. Has not, hasn't. He hasn't done that yet. Next is have not becomes haven't, HAVEN apostrophe T. Haven't, haven't. I haven't completed my work. Will not becomes won't, won't, won't. I will not go there, or I won't go there. Now you can merge I will also, that becomes I'll, and will not also, that becomes won't. So if there is a sentence, I will not go there, so you can frame it like I'll not go there. I'll. So here you are merging two words, I will, I'll. So you're using a contraction for I will, I'll not go there. Now if you want to merge will not, then I won't go there. Okay, so meaning is same. You can use any contraction whichever you want to use. So next is modal verbs. Cannot becomes can't, C-A-N apostrophe T. So we are dropping two letters here. So cannot, can't. I cannot do that. I can't do that. Next is could not. Could not becomes couldn't. She couldn't complete her work last night. She couldn't. Next is shall not becomes shan't. But don't use shan't because it's not that common. It's not that it's incorrect, but it's not that common. So generally people use shall not. Okay, so next is should not. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have done that. So the contraction is should, not is shouldn't. 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 May not becomes mayn't. Mayn't. You mayn't go there. You may not go there. Mayn't. Next is might not. Might not becomes mightn't. Might and apostrophe T. Mightn't. He might not come. He mightn't come. Mightn't. Next is must not. Must not becomes mustn't. M-U-S-T-N apostrophe T. Mustn't. Mustn't. You must not go there. You mustn't go there. You mustn't go there. And the last one is need not. It's needn't. N-E-E-D-N apostrophe T. Needn't. 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 You needn't do that. Needn't. Okay. So this is the pronunciation of these negative contractions. Now let's see how we can use question words with contractions. With three helping verbs, had, did, would. So let's see how it changes. Who had, who did, who would becomes who'd. W-H-O apostrophe D. So it becomes who'd. 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 Here look at the sentence. Who had called you last night? Who'd called you last night? Now again that depends on a sentence whether it is who had, who did or who would. Here we know that it's had because we have used third form of the verb. Okay, so who'd called you last night, that means who had. If it was who'd call you last night, then it would be did. And if it was who'd call you, last night was not there, that means we are not talking about the past. So who'd call you, so that means who would call you. Okay, so this way, depending upon the sentence, you'll get to know whether it is who had, who did or who would. So it's who'd. So next is what. So what apostrophe D. So the pronunciation is what'd. What'd. What did you do? What would you do? What did you do? What did you do? Okay, now next is where. Where becomes where apostrophe D. It's where'd. 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 Where would you go? Where'd you go? Where had you gone? Where'd you gone? Where'd. Okay. Next is how. How becomes how'd. 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 So next is with is and has. So who is or who has becomes whose. 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 Okay. So who's this? Who is this? Who's done the work? Who has done the work? So again, how you will differentiate between who is and who has depending upon the verb that comes after that. So if the verb is in third form, then that is who has, otherwise who is. Okay. Now what is or what has becomes what's. What apostrophe s. So here we are omitting I and HA. So apostrophe s, apostrophe s, apostrophe s, apostrophe s. Okay, so what's. What's. Now where is, where has becomes where's. Where's. And how is, how has, how's. How's. Let's look at the example. Who has called you? Who has called you? Who's called you? So here we are using the third form of the verb, so we know that it has to be has. It can't be is. Okay, so who's called you? Who's called you? What is wrong with you? So here It can't be has, it has to be is. So what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What is your name? What's your name? So this is the difference, and this is the pronunciation. Who'd, what'd, what'd, where'd, where'd, how'd, whose, what's, where's, how's. So that's all for today. I have covered all the contractions and their pronunciation. Now please practice and start using them in your everyday conversation so that you will get used to it. So that's all for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon and share with your friends. That's all. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Thank you for watching my videos. If you find them helpful, please like and share with your friends. Feel free to leave comments. Do subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to receive a notification for the new videos. Thank you, take care and have a great day.